welcome back to the vlogs. It is a little bit of a late start to the vlogs. We have Tuesday already, which I'm really sorry about, but yeah, going up to Christmas work has been a lot, and yeah, I'm doing what I can, to be honest, which is also why I have not filmed the video for Thursday. So this week there won't have been a Thursday's video because I just do not have the mental capacity to film and edit that one, so I'm not gonna do that, which I hope you're all fine with. Let's talk reading, because what I did do is a lot of reading. I am a little bit over halfway through this one. I think I have 180 pages left. This is Slow Gods by Claire Roth, which I talked about last week. Is the deciding factor in if I will continue to get the space, like sci-fi book box by Illumicrate. And so far, yes, because I do really enjoy this book. I think it's a really interesting book. I really love the design. This is like a tactile design. You can feel this, and yeah, this is like a motif from in the book. These are like two planets who explode against another. And the book is really interesting. Our main character isn't like your typical hero because he sees himself more as a monster because of what happens to him, and he is somewhat immortal. I'm not gonna spoil too much because I actually think it's like pretty interesting to find out throughout the story what happened to him and what it did to him. But yeah, so we have that. And then the thing is just that the Slow Gods came in and told all of humanity, the aliens, like the universe, that there is a supernova happening and it will wipe out a lot of planets in its way. And they are kind of like, yeah, this is a warning, just so you can evacuate those planets. And a lot of people just don't take it seriously, and from there come riots and stuff like that, and our main character is involved in a riot, and that is things happening there is why he changes. And then pretty much from his change on out, everybody is afraid of him because of what he can do, until he meets somebody on a planet who is pretty much more or less the only person not really afraid of him. He also has companions throughout the book, which are robots that like to mimic animals or humans to make humanity more at ease towards them, because they found out that humanity likes it more if you have like eyes and legs and stuff like that. So he's a pilot and he's flying around, he's seeing a lot of things, and through that he meets this one person which he has more of a connection to. And a lot of the focus on the book is the inevitability of the supernova coming through, and that nobody can really change that, and that is bringing up a lot of problems with the different types of humanity that have settled on different planets and have really, really different ways of life. And that is kind of, a little bit of a problem. And then our main character, the one thing I'm kind of struggling with is our main character describes himself as really emotionless, but he has a lot of emotions, in my opinion. They're just really more outbursts than regulated emotions, and that is kind of part of the story. But I think there were some points in the story where he's like, oh, I wish I had like more of an emotion about that, and I was like, well, the last paragraph was full of emotions, so maybe I'm weird at interpreting emotions, which I would get if I'm weird with that. I feel like it is kind of suggested that he is going kind of in the direction of like autism and stuff like that, which it's in the book is pointed back to him changing, but I feel like the description often seems like in the direction of autism, just to like get a feel for how he behaves. But he pretty obviously has emotions, and he just doesn't really know how to talk about them. And then the other thing I find a little bit weird at points is he sees himself as a monster. For example, not everybody can flee the planet, obviously. Where would the people go? And so one planet, for example, has a lottery system, and there's somebody on the planet, and he's really angry that the person didn't get chosen through the lottery. And he sees himself as a monster because he leaves the person behind, but the person wants to be left behind. The person doesn't want him to take him with him. And then he's like, oh, I'm a monster because I left him. But like, why would he be a monster? The person chose. You know, he at points the main character seems kind of immature, which seems weird because he, at this point, he's like 130 years old or something like that. So you would think that he isn't as immature. But yeah, but those are really small points compared to the rest of the book, and the rest of the book is really interesting. The story is really, really interesting, and I'm kind of excited to see what the ending is, because I'm kind of feeling like the ending, like, so far it doesn't really feel as if the book has like much of a goal we're going towards, because obviously the supernova is happening and they can't stop it. So like, yeah, I'm now at the point where there is maybe a war starting. They are at like this conference where everybody is supposed to like decide together what they are going to do with like evacuations and where to put the people and stuff like that. And I feel like that might be a good point for like people going against each other. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting sci-fi, and yeah, so far I will at least get another month of the subscription. It's a quarterly subscription, so it's in a couple of months, the next one. But yeah, this one I think is a really, really good pick for the subscription. So maybe they changed the way they pick books. I don't know. But yeah, it's a really, really pretty book. I have to give them that. And this is how our main character looks, and this is one of his companions, the machine kind of android type of creature. So yeah, I will continue with that tomorrow. I will finish that tomorrow. Because I mean 180 pages should be totally doable tomorrow. And yeah, I want to kind of get my reading going a little bit, because I haven't been reading an incredible amount this month so far. Then I finished my partner's new beanie that I was working on, because I needed the needles for my cardigan, and so I was kind of forced to finish the beanie. And this is a beanie that is knit like a tube, and then you have the ends, and then so it's double at the end to make it especially warm. And yeah, it looks kind of funny with the proportions, but it fits my partner, so all is well on that front. But yeah, it reminds me that I really need to start and knit a beanie for myself, because I haven't done that yet. But I already knit two for my partner, because he is an avid beanie wearer, so you know, he needed a second one. But yeah, I'm really happy with the fact that I finished that one. And then I'm currently working on my cardigan, which is this long. I'm halfway through the increases for the shoulders, so it should be, you know, to up until the underarm. I'm like halfway to that point, so I will continue with that one now. Might read a couple of more pages today. We'll see if I have like the mental capacity for that a little bit later on in the day. And yeah, that's the beginning of the blog. Okay, I finished Slow Gods. That was a really interesting read. I think I'm somewhere between 4 and 4.5 stars in the end, which is really nice. I really enjoyed the read. I feel like it is kind of more on the philosophical side, with like, you know, what are you willing to sacrifice for the greater good, and how can you even determine what that is? That is kind of a theme that comes out in the later part of the book, which, you know, is a really interesting thought experiment. I'm still not quite on board with some of the descriptions and seeing our main character as like a monster and an unforgivable. I get why the book uses those terms and makes the characters say that they are. But yeah, I think that's like a philosophical debate if you think that they are monsters or not, you know? But yeah, that was a really enjoyable read. So I will definitely get the next Illumicrate box. What is the name of the box? Why did I forget already? The Starbright box. I will definitely continue to get it for now. We'll see what the next one will bring. Obviously, it comes once a quarter, so it will take a couple of months till the next one will come. But if they all go in this direction now, I would be really happy. Or next month will be bad again, and this will have been a one-off. We'll see, but yeah, I'm not ready to give it up after this one because I did really enjoy the read, and I think it was a really interesting read that I'm not sure I would have picked up on my own. Just because I think the description would have made me go a little bit like, oh, it doesn't sound really like that much adventure, but this was like really, really full of action, of keep going, of like visiting so many places and, you know, having so many travels through the universe that I really enjoyed the pacing. So yeah, I'm really happy about this book. I really love the design. My partner also loved the design. Like, he saw it on my desk and was like, wow, that looks really good. And I was like, yeah, it's the newest book. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. So that is actually really great. I think next up I will read James Patterson just as like a palette cleanser, and then we will go back to the book I started with last week. Just, you know, to have a little bit of like a palette cleanser and then go back to like a more modern book. And the James Pattersons all read pretty quickly, and I feel like this week I need like a definitely action-packed, more quicker read for the rest of the week, which, you know, I feel like is a good choice. So yeah, that is how we're at. I am also doing good progress with my knitting. I won't show you right now because I'm in the middle of a row. Sometimes hard to pick up, but I am, I think, 17 rows away of picking up for the arms and splitting the arms off, which is really good progress. So I'm gonna go and knit a little bit more now. And then I will see you tomorrow with the beginning of the next James Patterson, which I don't know which of the two I will read first, but like, we'll see what I chose tomorrow. I am incredibly sorry with how little I checked in with you this week. It is Friday after work now. I had an incredibly draining work week. I feel like mentally checked out, to be honest, but I did want to give you an update with like a rather not really that impressive book. I started yesterday with reading Violets Are Blue by James Patterson, which is the next Alex Cross book that I had. There's definitely some missing in between the last one and this one that I didn't own. This one is really annoying topic-wise. We have a really gruesome murder in a park where like two people, like a couple that is running, gets killed really savagely and they look really bad. And then we have this like mastermind who's after our main character and is like threatening his family, and he killed a partner of his, and yeah. But a lot of the book so far is revolving around his partners dying and him dating and you know, why your partner died not that long ago, why are you dating? And as far as I know, it's he slept with her, so, you know, why would he be dating again? And it's I'm not impressed with the story so far. Like, the murders are slightly interesting. It's like they're pretty savage, and they have something to do with drugs, and there are multiple people involved, and, you know, and but then the whole plot with the mastermind, which I obviously missed the first book where this happens. So yeah, this isn't the best to read alone of the series, but like, it's just so overdone. And I know the book is older, so when this came out, it might have not been overdone, but I feel like it's really overdone. And I hate the whole using his partners to hurt him. And, you know, when in the beginning of the book, when he gets told that his partner died, he's like, oh, it's the second one already. Which, like, what? Why? And yeah, I don't know. This one is just, I don't like it. I really don't. I think this is the worst one so far. And I think one of the main problems is that I still don't care for the main character, so it just annoys me that now his partners, like, get killed and he's still trying to date while that is all going on, which I think is, like, a really shithead decision to do. Just my opinion. You know, if my partners were threatened by, like, a criminal mastermind, I don't think I would go out and start dating again. Yeah, I'm not impressed by this one. Might also be just the general state of this week that I'm not impressed with. But yeah, I don't really care for this one. I will finish it with, like, a quick read tomorrow because I do want to get it done. It's 400 pages. I'm halfway through, so it should be doable and, like, you know, a quick read style. I don't care to, like, carefully read this book, if I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it this week, hopefully. I don't know, I'm kind of done with this week, to be honest. I still have next week, and then I have 2 weeks off of work, which I'm desperately in need of. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna go to Christmas market tomorrow, which I'm really excited for, and I'm gonna go book shopping because I decided I need to get out of the house. So what is the best reason to get out of the house than to go book shopping? I shouldn't really buy books, but I don't care this week, if I'm honest. I still have the secondhand books coming, so I'm totally fine with buying, like, a couple of new books as well. And then I have books for the next few months. I won't buy new books for a couple of months then, because obviously I have enough then. But yeah, I'm feeling really drained and I need to pick me up, and going out and buying a book is definitely a pick me up. Don't know if I will find one that I will want to buy, but that is a totally different topic. But yeah, so we're gonna, you know, get out of the house tomorrow. It's desperately needed. Okay, it is Saturday afternoon now. We are back from our shopping trip, which went fairly well. Sadly, half of the Christmas market wasn't there, but at least a small portion was there, which, you know, my partner got some. I don't know what you would call them in English. They're roasted almonds, and they're roasted in sugar. In German, they're called gebrannte Mandeln. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it on screen. I'm gonna Google it later, and I'm gonna put it on screen what it's called. But they are really, really nice. I can't eat them, sadly, because they have too much sugar. But if you can get a hold of them or make them yourself, they are really great. And yeah, they are staple for German Christmas markets, which are really great. So yeah, but let's first talk about this book. I don't know why, I just could not. This story just didn't compute with me. Like, I did not care for the story. It's a little bit of, like, it has to do with role playing. And this weird cult-like role-playing groups going into, like, a vampire direction, and then we have the mastermind. I didn't care for, like, the, like, plot twist at the end, who was the mastermind. I didn't really care for that, I have to be honest. This book just really fell flat for me. I just didn't really care for the, like, cat and mouse game the mastermind did with our main character. That's the problem with, like, not caring for the characters. But I think also the other stories were so much better than this one. I don't really know why, but I'm giving this 2 stars. It's not horrible, I just could not get into the story, and so obviously I didn't really care for all of the characters. And yeah, I don't know. This one just didn't hit it for me. Wouldn't read. Also, I think it might have been a little bit more interesting if you have the first half with the mastermind, which there seems to be a first one. I don't even know. But I don't think I would have enjoyed the book more because of it. It would have just given you more explanations, you know? So keep that in mind. But yeah, I just think I'm over James Patterson. But I have a couple of books left by him. Happily not that many more, but like, yeah, I have one on my TBR for this month, which I will just get done next week. So, you know, I'm through that. And then I think I have 2 more, but they aren't from the Alex Cross series. They are from the other series, and I like the main character a little bit more. So that should be fine there. Next up, I picked up a book. I did go ahead, visited the bookshop, and I picked up a T. Kingfisher book, which is Snake Eater, which is a horror fantasy. I was really in the mood to buy a horror book, a new one, and then I saw this one, and the cover just got me. I really enjoyed this cover. And, you know, normally you find a lot of paperbacks in German bookstores, at least for the English books. So I was really surprised to find this really pretty hardcover, which is in this burnt orange. So yeah, this is about a woman who, it's just her and her dog, and then she goes and flies towards her late aunt's house, and there she makes a few discoveries, and then she like learns that the house kind of belongs. I think they use the word belong. Yeah, the ground that the house stood on is the grounds of an ancient god named Snake Eater, and her aunt seems to be in debt to this god. And so yeah, this seems to be like a horror fantasy crossover with like snake gods and paying off a debt. And yeah, I have read one book by T. Kingfisher so far, which I liked but didn't love. So we're gonna see how another one goes. Is T. Kingfisher a guy or a girl? It's a her, okay. You know what, with some names I just can never remember. But yeah, so hopefully this I will enjoy a little bit more by her. But yeah, I just couldn't leave this be. There was also only one of these, so I had to pick it up, kind of. It's also not the longest book, which I think will work out quite fine. Ideally, I would love to fit it in next week, but we'll see. My other books are on the way, but they are still in transit, so they might take a couple of days more. Okay, and so lastly, I did quite a bit of knitting because, to be honest, when I'm mentally drained, I really enjoy knitting, and the cardigan is really a mindless project. So what I did do is I split for the arms. I pretty much like knit a little bit on the body, but just so I can try it on nicely. And then now I'm working on the arms. I'm, I think, nearly a third of the way through the first arm. And then obviously we have the second one here. But yeah, it fits really, really nicely so far. I think I have a little clip of me trying it on before I started the first arm. I'm gonna insert that here for you, just so you can see how it fits so far. This yarn is not gonna stretch pretty much at all, so like just slightly, because it's mainly cotton. So that is also pretty much how it will fit once it's finished. But yeah, when I'm just like so tired mentally, knitting something mindless is just really working for me. So that is kind of great. So yeah, that is kind of the end of the week. I hope you still enjoyed this vlog, even though this week just wasn't a good week for me, let's be honest. Also, I got like 3 hours of sleep tonight because my dog was um, convinced he had to sleep on top of me, and then he was constantly dreaming. And he has a habit of when he has a bad dream, he's growling in his sleep. And as much as I don't think my dog would ever do something, having him growl this near to my face, because his face was pretty much lying here, just wasn't comfortable with. So I was just up at some point. I'm somebody, if you wake me up after 12, like after midnight, I will not be able to go back to sleep. So he woke me up at 20 minutes before 1 in the morning, and I have been up ever since, which isn't great. So yeah, I hope you still enjoyed this vlog. Hopefully next week will go a little bit better, if not the week after, because then I have 2 weeks off of work. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always interacting with me and in the comments, and just, being here and watching my videos. It means really quite a lot to me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.